You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Ao-chan Can't Study. Hi Ruronis, this is your pal Rurouni K95 here. Today's anime review, which is another anime TV series for today's anime review, Ao-chan Can't Study. Ao-chan Can't Study is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Ren Kawahara. The series was serialized in Kodansha's shonen magazine Edge magazine from October 2015 to December 2018. It was compiled into 8 tankobon volumes. The manga is licensed in North America by Kodansha USA, who began releasing the manga digitally in English in September 2018. A sequel manga was launched in January 2019, and an anime television series adaptation by Silverlink aired from April 6th to June 22nd, 2019, especially all 12 episodes. So let's review Ao-chan Can't Study anime. Let's begin. In a flashback at school, as Haori introduces herself in class about the origin of her name and why Ao's father named her, she regrets sharing in class now in high school. Takumi Kijima was commenting about Ao's good grades. She thinks both of them live in different worlds and quickly leaves the classroom to go home. The next day, the teacher asks Ao to see about Takumi's sprained ankle, which is painful, and gives her a new set of uniform for him to use, and went to see him, but overheard a conversation with Misaki Uhara, and he left the room. Ao talks to Takumi and gives him the uniform, while secretly Hanasaki shows up and surprised Ao. She tries to stop him from doing things to her. This is until Takumi covers Ao with a uniform and confuses to Ao at school. Ao was thinking about Takumi's confession. Takumi greeted Ao and got scared by him. The next day, she wore a different uniform to school, which she does as usual, which Masaki commented about, and Ao left the classroom embarrassed. Takumi went to see her, and they skipped class to eat. So Ao went and wanted to touch Takumi while he was sleeping, but she thought she wanted to touch his hand. Then Takumi asks out if Ao accepted his confession. Ao shouts out that she isn't familiar with being a couple yet. Takumi replies to Ao to plainly not rejected his confession and think over it. Hanasaki asks about Ao about Takumi and gives some advice, which Ao didn't like about at school. Ao was trying to study, but she was reading one of Hanasaki's novels, disguised as a school book. In the process, she threw it to Takumi, and he picked up the novel, thinking that it's his study book. Ao asks Takumi to go studying together, and they try to getting the novel back from him, which Ao thought he had it, but Takumi possessed the school book, and Ao had the novel instead and ran away. On a school field trip, Ao walked into Takumi at the inn, and some of her classmates asked him about him. Ao goes to Takumi's room as him, Masaki, and Shuhei Yonezuka, Takumi's friend, went to the room. Takumi noticed the closet door was stuck and tried to close it. Masaki and Shuhei wanted drinks, and Takumi stayed behind to get a futon from the closet. But Ao was hiding there. He starts to feel her head and, embarrassed, fell on top of him. When Takumi's friends and her classmates show up, Ao wanted to leave, and they wanted to shrine to have a test of courage. She and Takumi got paired up. On the way back, leaving the shrine, Takumi noticed Ao's skirt was tucked halfway through, showing her underwear awkwardly. Takumi tries to tell Ao about it until she took off his skirt and tied a knot around Ao's waistband. Ao had a nightmare about her name and woke up to Hanasaki wanting to give her a letter to someone. She opens the letter to find Takumi sleeping with a girl at school during a soccer practice match. Ao wanted to talk to Takumi, knowing who the girl in the picture was in particular, but their classmates cheered on Takumi, and He greeted them. They asked Takumi if Al was his girlfriend. She denied it and heard him about him going to a mixer. She ran away to a cafe. At the cafe, the girl from the picture stands in front of Al and remembers her as Miyabi Akawa. Takumi talked to Ao about the mixer and Miyabi at the park. Hanasaka saw Takumi and Miyabi go on a date together and went to a haunted house. When Ao got lost with her father, when Takumi found her and escorted her out at night, Takumi and Miyabi continued their date as they followed them to a love hotel earlier in the process. Ao saw Takumi and Miyabi went to a hotel, but she fainted. Takumi carried Ao to her room and woke up. He tried to tell her about what happened, that the hotel doesn't accept high school kids, and Miyabi ran away from Takumi, and he tells Ao that he is a virgin, and she thinks Takumi tells this to the other girls, but he doesn't, and left. The next day at school, Takumi tries to avoid Ao, but Misaki asks her about Takumi's homework and try to finish it together at the cafe. Takumi told Ao about a question he didn't get, but it was one of Hanasaki's novels as a study book, as it was to actual either study books or novels in the process. They walk back to the hotel. Takumi wanted to know about Ao. If being a couple in there is their first time, she got scared by him questioning her and left to see Miyabi. At home, Hanasaki ran out of ideas to write into his novels. When Soichiro Yabi, his editor, and Ao decided to go to a festival and find some advices for Hanasaki's novels at the festival, and Ao got lost and saw Takumi and Miyabi working there. Soichiro found her and introduces himself as Hanasaki's friend from the university, keeping the secret that he is Hanasaki's editor. Takumi thinks Soichiro is too close of a friend to Ao's family, and Miyabi drags him back to work. She tries to tell Takumi to stop thinking about him being with Ao. Takumi found Ao during his break and asked about Soichiro. Meanwhile, he went to find her. Takumi took Ao away from Soichiro and told him she will get back home later at the park. Takumi is still waiting for Ao's confession. At school, Ao took practice exam for universities, but her grades to exam was falling great. She tries to study by the beach as Takumi, Miyabi, and Misaki shows up. Ao tries to decline Takumi's advice to have fun before her study group begins later. Miyabi told Ao that she can borrow a swimsuit from the store at her new job. Ao and Takumi head to relax, while Miyabi and Misaki behind wondering about Ao and Takumi is doing next. Ao wanted to leave the beach, but Takumi moved her life belt to the shore, thinking that he wanted to be with her longer, and reminded her that Ao has a study group to attend soon. She thought Takumi wanted to do something else before going there, and Ao got mad at him about it, and her swimsuit came off when Miyabi and Misaki went to see them. At night, Ao was thinking about what happened at the beach when a couple of boys passed by and Ao was punching the light pole. Ao got home to study, but she had a text message from Takumi about his soccer club having a practice match as well. Ao texted him back about making food for Takumi. The next morning, she tried to make different meals for him, but an eel escaped and was attached to Hanasaki. As he got the newspaper for revenge, he added an ingredient in the eel's bowl. While Ao took a break and Soichiro made a coffee at the park, Takumi's team lost and felt depressed as Ao wanted to give food to cheer her up. When their classmates left for karaoke, after Takumi ate the food, he was acting strange and touched Ao. He stopped and Ao told him to stop confessing to her. At home, Ao rejecting Takumi when she was talking to a mannequin, which surprised her, and he thought it by Hanasaki. Ao to have at school, Ao felt strange being in the classroom until Masaki asked about Takumi being mad. She got home to study, and Soichiro asked if Ao rejected Takumi, but she couldn't stop saying his name. He talked to Hanasaki about Ao being depressed. Later, Ao got back to her room while Soichiro stopped tutoring her and went outside of the house when she saw Takumi and wanted to see Ao. Takumi talked to her about leaving her at school. As Takumi was leaving, Ao wanted to stay and he kissed her forehead before Takumi left. He asked Ao to go studying together. thinking that she thought Takumi wanted to date her instead. At school, Al's class was thinking of what event they're doing for school, a sports festival. She overheard about Takumi taking the part in the festival as well. Al got home and she wanted to be at the festival too, but Hanasaki wanted to be there too. She tells him not to don't show up because every school festival Al participated in, it ends in a fiasco due to Hanasaki giving the novels to everyone. They fought and didn't talk to each other until the festival began. And the festival, Takumi talked to Al and she was worried about her father. Al went to participate in the event, but she stepped in Hanasaki's back and he wanted to support her at the start of the event. Ran and Hanasaki shouted out what was her cup size, which is awkward. Later, she asked him not to show up at school. At school, Takumi asked Al to study at his apartment on the weekend night. Al looked up through her phone and bought her underwear. The package had arrived, and Hanasaki wanted to get it. Al rushed to the door to grab the package. Hanasaki asked her what was inside it. She told him it was for studying. Later, Al arrived at Takumi's apartment to study. They studied until Al asked a math question. While Takumi doesn't get it, he asked Al a question about who scores better on the quiz. She thought he wanted to dare her, but she was thinking of dirty thoughts instead. Takumi thought Al had an idea, and it was about making him bento again. She replied back, but she had a stomachache and stayed home, which she messed up the school quiz. Al wanted it into an ice cream shop and visit Miyabi at her job. She asked, "What is a kiss?" And Miyabi almost demonstrated it in front of Al while everyone was looking. Meanwhile, Masaki asked Takumi about Al and their relationship, but she is more focused on studying than having fun at school. Al was being strange around Takumi until she told him about Miyabi, wondering if they kissed yet, and he kissed Al. At home, Al has made too much tempura. Hanasaki as well. And Soichiro wondered about her being strange at school. Everyone knew about Takumi kissing Ao and felt embarrassed. And she left the classroom. Takumi went to talk to Masaki and Shuhei about him, and Al later went on to the bookstore to see Al and wanted to go to the train station together. But along the way going there, he kissed Al and made her embarrassed again, which is always awkward, as you know. And that's my review on Ao-chan Can't Study. This anime television series adaptation was announced on December 5th, 2018. The series is animated by Silver Link and directed by Keisuke Inoue, with Michiko Yokute handled series composition, and Miwa Homashima designed the characters. It aired from April 6th to June 22nd, 2019, which is a 3-month anime series that only lasted 12 episodes on the Animeism programming block MBS TBS and BS TBS. Edgoa Sullivan performed the series opening theme song Wonder Wonder, while Spika performed the series ending theme song Koi wa Miracle. Sentai Filmworks has licensed the series for international regions, excluding Asia, as an English dub was produced for the series, which it may be available on DVD or Blu-ray, according to Sentai Filmworks licensing at Ao-chan Can't Study. What I think of the series, I find the series to be entertaining because this only lasted for 12 episodes for 3 months in 2019. Because, in my opinion, my review on Ao-chan Can't Study made me felt great as an anime reviewer. Besides my anime review, looking back at my previous anime review on Man on the Moon, and Double Jeopardy, which has got to me. Anyways, Ao-chan Can't Study is the perfect anime series to be my favorite. So that's going to be it for my anime review for today. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts on Ao-chan Can't Study. This is a 12-episode anime series that I had to do a review on Ao-chan Can't Study, which is my opinion I have for every anime review to review an anime series or a movie or an OVA. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan link in the description down below. You can share this video on your Twitter or Facebook if you have Twitter and Facebook account and all social media. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking on the like button on this video. Feel free to leave in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RurouniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel. Hit the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified. And keep it otaku for this anime review on Ao-chan Can't Study, and I got another anime review coming up, what I have for the next anime review. Stay tuned for my next anime review. I got another anime review with another anime movie directed by Isao Takahata with my anime review on Only Yesterday. Stay tuned for my next anime review on Only Yesterday because you won't want to miss another anime review.